Hey everybody, Chad McNabb driving in East Tennessee. And right now I'm on Interstate 40 driving into Knoxville. Coming up here for the Tennessee football game tomorrow night against Ball State. Thought I'd show you a little Interstate 40 view of Knoxville. Of course, here's Level Road. Over here to the right is a big Turkey Creek shopping area of Knoxville Farragut. Right now I'm about 10-12 miles from downtown Knoxville. Of course, over here on the right is Kingston Pike, and that's where a lot of your major shopping is in Knoxville. Now we're about to come up to Interstate 140, or then it becomes Pellissippi Parkway up here. Turn left on it, you can go back to Oak Ridge, the Hard Valley neighborhood in Knox County, which is a hot, fast-growing neighborhood here in Knoxville. So there does, I think, some work on the interstate. See all this traffic. Now, on game day, especially on a Saturday game day, there's a lot of traffic that comes up through here. But, like I said, this is Pellissippi Parkway at Interstate 140. Turn left, go back to Hardin Valley, then you can go to Oak Ridge, Tennessee, of course, where you have your Oak Ridge National Laboratory and some of the uranium enrichment facilities in Anderson and Roane counties. But then if you turn right here on 140, you go to North Shore Drive of Knoxville, which is a road that parallels the Tennessee River and Fort Loudon Lake for a long time. It's got a lot of nice housing on it, subdivisions, some boat ramps, boat docks to get out on the lake with your boat. Then you can go all the way over back to the Knoxville Airport, which is in Bluff County in Alcoa, and that'll take you over there to the Knoxville Airport too. About 10-12 miles from here to the Knoxville Airport, and then it's about 10-12 miles from downtown Knoxville too, because Alcoa Highway runs from Alcoa back into downtown Knoxville. Of course, this is about 4:40 in the afternoon. You got a lot of traffic, people getting off work, and then they're doing some construction up here, and then probably some game day people coming for the football game up here tomorrow night too. And also, of course, you got a lot of this is Interstate 40, which is a major interstate, and then I-75 runs up to Knoxville. Then I-81 comes from northeast Tennessee, and runs it back into 40 in the Jefferson City area, which is about 25-30 miles northeast of Knoxville. So it's a major interstate area. Like I said, Knoxville has a population of 190,000, and Knox County has almost 500,000 people. And Knoxville metro area is just about 1 million, or close to 1 million. Over here on my left, I don't know if you probably can't see it, but that's HGTV, their Knoxville office. Of course, I don't know if it's as busy as it used to be, because they were owned by Scripps Network, but then they sold it to the Discovery Network. So I don't know how much they based their operations out of Knoxville before, when it was with scripts. Then over here on my left you have Park West Hospital. That's a major hospital here in Knoxville. And we're coming into the Cedar Bluff area. Cedar Bluff is a big commercial area of Knoxville, and neighborhoods too. Had a lot of new development over here in Cedar Bluff and Kingston Pike here in the past year or two. Big new apartment complexes over here, hotels, retail, commercial. And Knoxville metro area is one of the, I think in the last year or two, has been one of the top 10 or 15 fastest growing metro areas in the United States. In the 100 largest metro areas, I think it's in the top 10, top 15. Really had a lot of growth. And I think Knox County was the third or fourth fastest growing county in Tennessee last year. About 7,000 people grew by. Even grew more than Davidson County, which is Nashville. The only other counties that grew faster were Rutherford, which is where Murfreesboro is at, and which is a suburb of south of Nashville, about 30 miles south of Nashville, and Williamson County, which is another suburb of Nashville. That's directly west of Rutherford County and south of Nashville. That's where Franklin and Brentwood's at. Of course, that's one of the Williamson County has the highest average income of any county in Tennessee, and one of the top 20-25 in the United States, I think. Of course, you got a lot of country music stars, and then they also have a lot of corporate offices in the Williamson County area. And then the other county I think that was ahead of Knoxville was Montgomery County, which is Clarksville, Tennessee. And that is about 50 miles northwest of Nashville. And Clarksville is the home of Fort Campbell military base, close to on the Kentucky-Tennessee border line. So you have a lot of people that, when they leave or retire from the military, they end up moving to Clarksville. And then just a lot of people just move there in general because the real estate's probably it's cheaper than living in the real estate, some of the suburbs in Nashville. Just why I think a lot of Knoxville's had a lot of growth. The real estate is still it's not cheap, but it's a little more inexpensive in Knoxville than, say, some of the Nashville metro area, Atlanta metro area. Said over here on your right, all your major shopping. Smoky Mountains over there in the background to the right. About 30-40 miles from here to the Smoky Mountains National Park. About 30-40 miles to Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg. You can take the interstate all the way to Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg. But also, if you go downtown Knoxville, you go across the Henley Street and go across the Henley Bridge. Once you cross the river, it becomes Chapman Highway, and you can take Chapman Highway all the way into the Smoky Mountains. This is typical time of day, this time of day, traffic pretty much through here about 5 o'clock. Thin out a little bit once you get a little closer to downtown, because you can get off and get up back onto I-75 a few miles up here, and then there's a 640 bypass interstate that you can get on that goes around downtown Knoxville too. It'll take you to the north side of Knoxville, and then it'll go all the way back about 5-6 miles on the other side of downtown and go back into Interstate 40. And then coming up here in a minute, on the right, you can get off here at West Hills exit and go to the West Town Mall, which is the major mall in Knoxville. Here's West Hills exit coming up about half a mile. Of course, go behind it. Kingston Pike is where the mall is, off Kingston Pike, and then there's a lot of housing behind Kingston Pike. Go over to Westland Drive, North Shore. Then back over here on my left, go down over to Middlesbrook Pike. Go through that area, a lot of housing. Of course, the further west you go, back towards Farragut, is where you're going to have more of your newer housing. I'm going east right now, so the closer you get to downtown, you're going to get more into older housing. Except for there's new apartments, close to downtown. A lot of the older houses have been renovated. Over here on my right is the West Town Mall. Probably can't see it. There's like a cheesecake factory, Apple store, Loco Burrow, Mexican restaurant. Now I'm about 4 or 5 miles from downtown Knoxville. Next exit up here, well, you can get on back, go back, get on back on North Shore Drive again, and then go all the way back out North Shore to some really nice housing too. Back through that area, it goes for a good 15 miles at least, all the way back into Farragut, next to the Tennessee River. Then closer to Farragut, you're going to be next to Fort Loudon Lake. Here's the North Shore Drive exit by these hotels. There's a really nice park right out there too, about a mile or two after you get on North Shore, called Lake Shore Park. It's next to the Tennessee River. It's called walking trails, ball fields. Big new Catholic church out there. Knoxville is a diocese of the Catholic Church in East Tennessee. close to where you can get back to 75 and 640. You can hear it about another mile. There's a really nice neighborhood, older neighborhood over here on Kingston Pike called Sequoia Hills. It sits on the Tennessee River. It's got a lot of old houses that they're really nice and been renovated, or some newer houses. Some really nice big churches over there. Several synagogues. There's a small Jewish population in Knoxville. I don't know exactly how many, but I'd say several thousand at least. Of course, Adolph Ox, who founded the New York Times newspaper, is from Knoxville, Chattanooga. He started the Chattanooga Times in Chattanooga, then he come up here to Knoxville to write for a newspaper up here and edit it, and then eventually he moved to New York City and he started the New York Times. You can turn on, get back on the Alcoa Highway, and go back to Alcoa and the Knoxville Airport. Like I said, it's about 12, 13 miles from here. And we're about to get a view of the University of Tennessee and downtown Knoxville here in a second. First buildings over on my right are the University of Tennessee, and then those buildings further back are downtown Knoxville. And then some of these buildings too are hospitals. Over there at Fort Sanders Hospital. East Tennessee Children's Hospital. Building in front of me, that's an apartment building, and a lot of the University of Tennessee students live there. Like I said, Tennessee River is just right out this road, about a mile, about half a mile really, probably. Now we're going to get on Kingston Pike and drive through the university and into downtown. Like I said, the really nice Sequoia Hills is turn back right here and go about half a mile and you'll be in that Sequoia Hill neighborhood. I do believe over here on my right to the is the Sorority Houses for UT. And then straight across this red light, a little bit to the right of the red light, if you can see that brick building over there, that's the UT Medical Center. That's the hospital for UT. That's your major hospital in Knoxville, of course, for your trauma and all that. But there are other good hospitals in Knoxville. Fort Sanders, like I said, is over here behind the university. You have Park West, Tenova. East Tennessee Children's Hospital is over here on the left, next to the university. Knoxville. I'm going to the game tomorrow. Tennessee playing Ball State. Tennessee Neyland Stadium holds 101,000 capacity. It's still one of the top 10 largest in the country, even though it's been reduced in the past couple of years by a few thousand because they put some more chairback seats and put a party deck in the northern upper deck end zone. Like I said, most of this you're looking at is the University of Tennessee, and some of these are all apartment buildings that are been built by companies, but mostly are all where students live, especially over here, like on the right here on. This is now, instead of Kingston Pike, it's now become Cumberland Avenue. This shopping center over here, they got a Publix grocery store, Domino's, ball shop. And this Cumberland Avenue used to be 4 lanes, but a few years ago they made it 2 lanes with the center turn lane and redid the landscaping. And I think it looks a lot better than it used to. Now, it's probably harder for traffic to get through here now, being 2 lanes, but it looks a lot better. Now they're building more apartments. Like a lot of the old commercial businesses and restaurants that used to be right here on the, I think it's called it's called the Strip, where all the college students come and hang out on. And well, a lot of those restaurant businesses have been closed and bought out, and a lot of these apartment buildings have been built here. And this area up here on the left is another area that's going to be that's been sold and bought, and it's probably. Of course, and there's the Children's Hospital too on my left. This area of shopping, gas station over here has been bought and it's going to be probably turned into more apartments. Some people don't like it. Of course, you know, a lot of your old school people that went to school here back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. That's where they used to hang out, and, you know, but I guess it's progress. This Oscar's restaurant, this bar right here, the leaderboard, it's really gets packed. And Hannah's Cafe up here on the right on the weekend. And over here on my left, this neighborhood on the back over here where these apartments is called Fort Sanders neighborhood. That's just where Fort Sanders Hospital's at. It's got a lot of apartments and old houses for it's mostly all apartments for the students. And then over here on the main campus, especially over here on the right, they've done a lot of renovation and streetscaping and landscaping and made the university a lot better. It looked a lot better. Then you have the Tennessee River over here, maybe 3/4 of a mile. But tomorrow, this road will be packed with Tennessee fans wearing, of course, orange and white, tailgating. Students. This next red light, turn down it. That's Philip Former Way. That is where the football stadium is at. Kind of hard to see. You can see just a little bit of it from right here. University of Tennessee has about 30,000, maybe a little more than that, students. Of course, now in Tennessee, you have the Hope Scholarship, which is the lottery scholarship. If you have a high enough grade point average, you qualify for every year. It's increased the enrollment here in the past several years. Close to downtown. I'll take a little drive over here by World's Fair Park. I'll end the video here in a minute. Here on my right is the World's Fair Park, where the 1982 World's Fair was held in Knoxville. I know there'll be a lot of tailgating there tomorrow. Of course, the theme of that World's Fair was energy, because Knoxville being close to Oak Ridge, and Oak Ridge is where they do the nuclear uranium enrichment and all that. And then you'll see the famous sun sphere right here in a second, which is supposed to represent that. Of course, the sun sphere was in an episode of The Simpsons when they wanted to go to see this. They went to the sun sphere. See it. I do believe the Knoxville Art Museum is over here on the left behind this brick building. There's the sun sphere. I think it's still open where you can go to the top up there, up in that elevator. Of course, now we're coming into downtown. And here on my right is the Knoxville Convention Center. But that's going to be the end of this tour of Interstate 40. University of Tennessee campus and downtown Knoxville. If you want to see more of Knoxville, East Tennessee, Middle Tennessee, leave a comment, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching the video and have a nice day.